Thank you. At least I didn't get booed, which I expected. To use a favorite word of our recently retired Teemu Selanne, this is an unbelievable day for for hockey in California, for Anaheim, the organization, and the city of San Diego, where we'll be moving to. This is, years ago I can remember when the Samuelis bought the team in '05, and Brian Burke and I were, first week on the job, we looked at each other. And it was only a week. We just looked at each other, we've got to move our minor league team out here. So this is a dream come true, and I thank Bill Daly, Gary Bettman, Dave Andrews for helping us to make this happen. My fellow GMs sticking together, as competitive as we are. For that to happen is an amazing thing, but we all have the same vision and hopefully the same result for all of us coming out of that. It's funny, John just talked about all the advantages of this, and he's exactly right. There's one other issue here that a guy like me, our general managers here, like on a Tuesday morning in November now, I can, as the guys can do, I can get up out of bed, instead of go watching our team practice, I can drive down the coast, which is kind of nice, and go to San Diego and watch my minor league team practice. And that, there's no price tag you can put on that. That is just so valuable to your players and to you. And this just exposes them to me and me to them so much more. It's just it's a remarkable thing, and again, it's a dream come true. They ask me, there's been people asking, well, who's going to play on your team down there? Well, my answer is quite simple. I saw something about 90%, but I'll take it one step farther. On our Anaheim Ducks roster right now, there's only 2 players who did not play in the American Hockey League. That's remarkable. As for San Diego, we started recently, 5 years ago, we started a high school league in the Southern California area. We had 2 teams. Today we have 41. 2 years ago, 1 team from our area won the national championship. Hockey is growing in California. And this, even in our minor hockey and our Bantam and Midget, we've had winners coming out of California in the last few years. Hockey is growing in California and the West Coast, and this is just going to take that step, one step farther and ahead. So again, this is just a great day for the Anaheim Ducks organization and San Diego, and thank you, gentlemen.
Well, in Canada, there's no applauding at news conferences, so this is a step forward already. Obviously, Bobby Murray is pretty passionate about what this means to hockey in Southern California, and I think all of us will agree that it's a long way from when Luc Robitaille played for the Kings and Wayne Gretzky got traded there in 1988, and it's to the betterment of the NHL and the great game of hockey that California will have more, Californians will have much more opportunity to watch world-class hockey. I'm pleased to join Dave Andrews and my colleagues to announce the formation of the AHL Pacific Division. It's a great day for hockey, as I alluded to, and it's really going to enhance our development. The Canadian teams are a little further away. We won't have the luxury of driving down the coast to see our American League team, but we know that the players are going to really benefit by the proximity of the teams. Presently, we're in Oklahoma City, and it's a wonderful city, and we really enjoyed being there, but our closest opponent was a 6-hour bus ride away, and the rest of the teams were pretty much a flight away. So this is really going to enhance development for our players. The big thing in development in hockey, and I guess same in other sports, is to have practice time, and when you're flying around all the time across the country, you eliminate practice days. So we anticipate possibly up to somewhere between 20 to 25 extra practice days, and in the season that's roughly 180 days. That's a big percentage of time for the development of these young players. So I won't go on too much longer. Really appreciate the enthusiasm of the crowd and certainly the representation of the crowd, and want to congratulate my colleagues as well, and particularly Bill Daly and Dave Andrews for the fine job of putting all this together so that we can all enjoy hockey in California. Thank you.
I don't know if I've got anything new to add. But just to follow up, I think, and as we've talked about and as Bob and everybody has alluded to, it's really remarkable when we talk about the growth of the sport within this state. I think as you look at from the pure product standpoint and from the general manager standpoint, we can't really probably highlight as eloquently as we should of how important this is from a development standpoint. Dave mentioned, and you heard a lot of the notes in terms of the amount of players that have come through the American Hockey League. This is a pure development league. You look at the future NHL players owning their craft in this league. So that was the biggest thing for us, is how can we get a better development model. And I can tell you from having a team in the East Coast, we're currently in Glens Falls, which is a wonderful community. It's been an excellent market for us. But those cross-country flights, dealing with a different time zone, when you play a game on a Friday night, you need a guy on Saturday, there's challenges involved with it. There's a lot of challenges. And I think for a number of years now, the West Coast teams, the real priority for this is there a better way for us on the teams in the West to develop players? So now having that ability where players are more easily accessible, you need a guy, you're in the same time zone. Other things that I think over the course of the next little bit that'll probably get more released when we talk about the schedule and some of the tweaks that this division will have relative to player development. I applaud the GMs for their foresight and really looking at how can we make a better development model. So on behalf of the Calgary Flames, again, I applaud everybody's work. I know, as Dave alluded to, I did want to make mention to both Gary Bettman and specifically Bill Daly. These are not easy transactions to push forward. So both Dave and Bill did a marvelous job in terms of getting this thing closed and over the finish line. And I want to echo everybody's thought that as exciting as this is, from a hockey standpoint, from a development standpoint, we do understand and recognize that there's markets today that are losing a team. And that's a difficult thing. When people invest, both financially and emotionally, it's a hard thing. So I do want to thank those people, the fans in Glens Falls that have supported our team over the course of this year, and we're hopeful that we can have a strong finish. Thank you.
Surprised I didn't know I had to talk, Dave. No, it's been a lot of work from everyone, and it's amazing when we all compete and we all go out there and every team's trying to beat each other. But it's pretty amazing how Deputy Commissioner and Commissioner Gary Bettman and Bill and Dave Andrew, Commissioner of the AHL, that they found a way to get us all together and get us in the room and making sure that we could get a deal done. And this has been a true work as it's like a team effort by everyone to get to this point. And for the growth of hockey, like everybody alluded to, it's a tremendous thing obviously for California, but I think for the United States altogether. I mean, to have 5 teams that are going to play on the West Coast now, and for fans that are going to be able to see players that are one phone call away from playing in the NHL. When we talk about the AHL, it's an entire other level, and people that are fortunate enough that they're going to be able to see those games are going to see a very, very high skill level, and it's going to be a lot of fun for all the fans that will have the opportunity to see these games. So, on behalf of the LA Kings, obviously we want to say thank you to people in Manchester. You're not losing a team. They will get another team. We're excited that we're going to Ontario, but I want to say thank you to the whole group for all the work that's been done through this, and it will be a great thing for hockey. Thank you.
So I don't really have anything substantive to add on behalf of the National Hockey League. It is a great day for hockey in California, and there's no doubt. I was thinking about it this morning. This doesn't happen 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's really the efforts of our franchises in California in growing hockey. John alluded to it, I think, in his remarks with respect to how committed our California franchises in particular are to growing hockey in their communities. and in California. And this becomes a reality because of those efforts that they worked so hard on in terms of developing California as a hockey market. So it's a great day for hockey. It's a good day for the National Hockey League. You know, I'd like to echo the comments that have been made. There's a lot of thank yous that go around. I'll start with Dave Andrews, his leadership and vision on this and making it happen. Working in a sports league and with 30 different members, I know how difficult that process is. It is a process, and Dave handled it. He understood the commitment and the passion that these clubs had in making a Pacific Division a reality, and he worked with us as our partner, as he always does, to make sure it happened. And so I thank David for his efforts in that regard. I'd also be remiss if I didn't thank each of these 5 clubs. They all had unique circumstances. They all had they shared a vision. They shared a vision on player development, and they overcame their differences. They each have different interests in the for the good of player development for their franchises. And at times I heard the commitment to do this. I didn't know that they could pull it together. Because again, they all have different interests, but they were able to do it. They presented a united front, and as a result, we were able to get this done. And I think it's good for hockey, good for the American Hockey League, and as I said, good for the National Hockey League. So thank you, John and the Sharks, for hosting, and happy to be here.
That just about wraps it up for today. We've got copies of the press release and some AHL collateral material on the table by the back of the room. You can grab those on your way out. We'll have a photo op here at the head table with all of our guests as we conclude. And lunch is being served for those of you who'd like to partake. Join us in the press room next door. And thank you all for coming.